Today's Sunday meal prep video. I'm so glad that you clicked on this video, and I hope that you enjoy it and try some of these recipes. For the meal plan today, we are going to do taco bowls, which that is something easy. I'm just going to do ground turkey for mine and ground beef for Charlie's, and I kind of just split the ingredients. We use one of the Frontera taco skillet sauces, and I just do half in each one, and then I'll do like half original taco seasoning and half spicy in each. And of course salt and pepper and stuff like that to season that up. And then our other meal is going to be this crispy air fryer chicken breast, and this recipe is one that I got from Little Sunny Kitchen. So I do have that printed out here, and it seems really similar to the panko breaded pork chops that I've done a couple of times. So basically it's, you know, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and then dried breadcrumbs, which I'll just use the panko breadcrumbs, paprika, chili powder, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne pepper, salt, and you're just going to bread that up, and we're going to cook that in the air fryer. It says 390 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. Flip it after the first 7 minutes or so. I hope that that cooks it enough. Y'all know I'm really funny about everything being well done, so we'll see. I might have to cook it a little bit longer. I'll just kind of play it by ear. I'll have to cut one of them in half and see if it's done. This will definitely have to be done in batches because I'm going to use the Ninja Foodie, but that basket is not really that large, so if we cook something like this, it has to be in batches, and so I'm probably going to only be able to fit like 3 or 4 cutlets in there at a time. We went ahead and just sliced 5 chicken breasts in half, so we won't each get like a full chicken breast with the meal, so it's going to be like 1 3/4 or something. I'll just divide out, you know, however I need to. Chicken is 0. The only thing that's going to cost points is going to be the breadcrumbs. It says to use 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil, but I will not use that. I will just use my olive oil spray. This should be a fairly low point meal. After I make it, I will see exactly what the points are. It depends on how much of the panko breadcrumbs and stuff that I end up having to use, because this only calls for 3/4 of a cup, so I'm not 100% sure. This was for 3 large boneless, skinless chicken breasts, which I'm using 5. So anyway, I think that will be good. And then to go along with that, we are going to have some rice. Now normally I cook my rice in my rice cooker, but I did find this recipe. It's on Recipe Zazz, I guess. It's just for seasoned rice, and it just calls for chicken stock, a cup of rice, which I probably am going to do 2 cups of rice. I'm not going to do 3 because I learned my lesson the last time. 3 was way too much. Some poultry seasoning, 1.5 teaspoons of butter or margarine, and then 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper. But this is making it in a saucepan on the stove, so I may do that. It kind of reminds me of, like, you know, those chicken rice mixes that you can get in the rice-a-roni or whatever it's called, how you cook that and brown it up in the skillet. So I think that that could be good and give it a little bit of flavor, so I might do that. So we'll see. And then we're going to have my Brussels sprouts that we dice up. They're already ready in this red bowl back here behind me. So Charlie's already done all of his prep work. I still have to wash the grapes and the blueberries. And yeah, so thank you so much for clicking on this video and lasting through this long intro. I know I always get a little bit wordy. I feel like I have to explain everything in detail. But if you are new here, please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and that notification bell so that you don't miss any time that I upload. I upload on Tuesday, Thursday, and on Sundays. And also follow me over on Instagram. I will leave my Instagram handle for you here as well. And I also have a Facebook group if you don't have Instagram, and I have the link to that down in the description box below so that you can join that Facebook group if you want to. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay guys, we are getting ready to start on our meal prep. I am going to run in here and get a shower and get ready like I always do while Charlie does the produce and meat prep that needs to be done. And so for the menu this week, we are doing taco bowls. There's really nothing to prep for those necessarily. I'm just using ground turkey and ground beef. We'll each have our own version of the taco bowls. And then the other meal is going to be like an air fryer crispy chicken breaded with panko breadcrumbs. So we do have some chicken breasts here. He's going to slice those in half long ways to make some chicken cutlets out of them. And with those, we are also going to have Brussels sprouts, which is one of my favorites. We're just going to dice these up into like fourths probably. He'll put them in a big bowl for me, and then I will just season those up with some avocado oil spray that I have, a lot of salt, a lot of pepper, a lot of garlic, you know, all the seasonings that I can think of to put on there to cover up that Brussels sprouts taste. And then you put them in the oven for, I can't remember, 30 minutes, 400 degrees or so. And they are perfect. If you don't like Brussels sprouts, you will like them this way. It is delicious. These are my bell peppers to dice up for my eggs and my pizzas. These are actually really good looking this week that Kroger picked out for me, so I was happy with that. And we have a cantaloupe and a pineapple. And I also have some red seedless grapes, which is something different because for lunches this week, instead of doing sandwiches, I'm going to take grilled chicken salads. Well, really, I'm going to do my chicken in the crock pot. So I actually need to put that on before I go get in the shower so that it can start cooking and be ready to shred up later. But I'm just going to take 3 chicken breasts and put those in the crock pot. I will just lightly season them up with salt and pepper, some chicken seasoning. That's pretty much it. Not a whole lot, so that they don't have a whole lot of flavor, and have that shredded in a container to make my chicken salads all week. And then I like to put grapes on there, some of the dried cranberries, some almond slivers, and I use the Boathouse Farms honey mustard dressing. So that is a perfect salad. It does come out to 8 points because of the cranberries and the almonds, and then I use 2 servings of the dressing with it. But it's delicious, so it's worth it to me. And then I have my blueberries, so I will wash the grapes and the blueberries. Charlie won't prep those. I like to go ahead and pull all the grapes off the stems, put them in my salad spinner, and let them soak just like I do the blueberries in the vinegar and water. And then of course I have my pineapple and cantaloupe. I don't know if I said that or not. He will just cut that up as normal. So yeah, I need to check these chicken breasts and see how many we're going to use for the fried chicken, and then what I'm going to need. I know I'm going to do 3, I think. 2 or 3 for my lunch. I don't know. The animals always like to eat a little bit of my chicken whenever I like make my salads and stuff, so I have to always make a little bit extra. I guess I'll just do 3 because chicken is 0 points on the Blue Plan, and I do like to eat a lot of protein, so I want to pile it up and have at least like 4 ounces on my salads each day. So anyway, let me get my crock pot out and get that going so that I can get in the shower. Okay, before I run in the shower, I am going to get my chicken ready in the crock pot. These are actually frozen. We decided just to go ahead and use the other whole pack for our fried chicken breasts. And I'm going to cook these on high pretty much all day, so I think that they'll be fine even though they're frozen. But I'm just going to season those up with some salt and pepper. And then this chicken seasoning I really like to put on there just to kind of bring out the flavor in it. I really don't want this heavily seasoned because it's going in salads. And then just some garlic powder and some onion powder. So I'm just going to season it up as much as I want and cover it with water and pop it in the crock pot. I'm just going to set it on 8 hours so that it won't cut off all day. Probably by the time that I finish up all of the rest of my prep, it will be ready. And it will shred up, and I'll put it in a container and have it to make my salads all week. And this is something that's really easy to prep. I mean, just to kind of have on hand. You can shred the chicken up. You could use it and put barbecue sauce on it, buffalo sauce on it, whatever you wanted to during the week. And make sandwiches, salads, you know, just as a side in a meal or whatever. Don't be afraid to, you know, try new things, play around with your food. Okay, and then here is the chicken seasoning, which this is just the Kroger brand. But we're going to try to generously put that on there, although it's not coming out good probably because it's so full. Let's just take the top off. And then we'll do just a little bit of garlic powder. And that's it. I'm going to cover it with water and put it in the crock pot. Okay, there we go. We have it covered with water, and I'm going to move you over because I have the crock pot actually on the table over here to keep it out of Charlie's way. And yes, there's Nico holding on to the extension cord. Thanks, Nico, for watching over things for us. gonna do slow cook on high, and I'm just gonna set it on 8 hours and pop the lid on. Easy peasy. Once Charlie gets done doing his prep, then he will move it up onto the counter, but just to kind of keep it out of the way, it's over here on the table for now. And yeah, so we will roll into Charlie's prep now.
Just another sunny day in Southern California. It's where the people came to play. Don't let them transform you. Come and see what you've been missing on a little slice of heaven. It's the only place we're living. It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime fun. You and I get free attitude. Who cares what the people think? It's been turning kinda gray in Southern California, but I'm allergic to the rain. What happened to euphoria?
So today, in addition to my blueberries, I also have red seedless grapes that I need to wash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the blueberries in, let them soak, and while they're soaking, I'm going to pluck all of these grapes off of the stems so that they are ready to go. I don't like to leave them on the stems, and then I'm going to soak those the same way that I do the blueberries. But I think it's better to go ahead and pull them off. These are going to be used in my salad, so I'll basically just throw like a handful of them into my salads that I make for my lunches this week. Okay, so I have my blueberries washed in the vinegar and water, and I'm going to let the grapes soak. I am going to go through some of the blueberries because a few of them have little stems on them like that. I'm going to pull those off and kind of clean them up a bit, and then some of these little ends are still stuck in them. It's not as bad as that one batch I got that one day, but I do see a couple. So I'm going to clean those up, and then we're going to rinse the grapes, and then we will be ready to put together our fruit bowls. For the grapes, they're just going to go into, well, actually, I will just put the grapes back in this container. I'm going to wash it out. I know I put them in there dirty, but I'm just going to wash it out, and then I'll put some paper towels in it and just let them sit there and dry, and just put it in the refrigerator. This way, whenever I make my salads, then I will just take the grapes straight out of this. I don't even feel like it needs to be in a covered container or anything. It will just help keep the moisture off of them to keep them dry. So I'm going to wash this out, and we will put them right back in there, and they will just get stored that way. And then I'm going to put together my other fruit bowls like I normally do. And yeah, then we were going to jump into making the chicken breast and the Brussels sprouts and everything else. Okay guys, I have all of my fruit ready to make my fruit bowls, so let's throw them together real quick, just like always.
It won't go away. I've got that feeling rushing through my body. I know that it is here to stay. It's like you're my personal Illuminati. I know that some might say that I am just a bad girl, but if you treat me right, I will be the best girl in this whole world. No, I'm not gonna bite. I got my hands on your body, so tell me what you want me to do.
Okay, here are the completed fruit bowls with the yogurt to go along with it. And then I have my grapes, which is going to be used in my salads this week, which I've washed those and just let them dry. I will store these in the refrigerator just like this, just open. Sometimes too, I like to go through, I'll just grab a handful of grapes and eat them if I want a little snack in the evenings or whatever. And then I also have plenty of diced peppers. I have started doing 4 diced peppers instead of 3. Because I was running out like on Saturdays and not having enough to make my pizzas, and Charlie started using some on his pizzas as well now. So anyway, lots of peppers in there. I'll use most of those whenever I cook my scrambled eggs today. And yeah, this looks delicious. I will not eat like necessarily a fruit bowl and a yogurt bowl every day with my salad, but I will take it and like have it maybe a little bit later for a snack. So that's kind of the plan on that. But anywho, got this done. Now let's start making some air fryer chicken cutlets. and Brussels sprouts and some rice. Okay guys, we are finally getting ready to start on the air fryer chicken. I have the air fryer warming. If you hear that noise in the background, I just think sometimes it's better if it's already heated up. And so I have my chicken cutlets here that Charlie has prepared for me. And the recipe, I am going to make one change to it because it called for 1.5 tablespoons of oil and no eggs or anything like that. I'm not going to use the oil. I'm just going to use 2 eggs since those are 0 points on the blue plan. And then I'm going to use 1 cup of the breadcrumbs. And then all of the seasonings, I'm pretty much doing a full teaspoon except for the cayenne pepper. I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon. So we're going to mix up the breadcrumbs and the seasonings, and then we will get these ready and get them in the air fryer, and hopefully they turn out good. I think that they'll be very similar to the panko breaded pork chops that I make, and we love those. So once we get the first set of these going in, then we're going to do the Brussels sprouts. Those just bake in the oven basically for 30 minutes, so that will be real easy. And once I get those in, then we're going to figure out what we're going to do with the rice. I have not calculated the points on the rice yet, so haven't decided if I'm just going to do the plain rice in the rice cooker. I wanted to have some flavor, so that's why I found that recipe, and we'll see. I could just add, you know, some stuff into the rice cooker. The rice cooker is so easy, you don't have to do anything. I mean, it does it for you and it comes out perfect every time. So I'm thinking about it. We'll see. But I'm going to tilt you down here and we are going to mix up this mixture for the breadcrumbs. So I already have 2 eggs that I cracked in this bowl over here, and then I'm going to put my breadcrumbs in here to put the chicken in, and then I'll have another plate to put the chicken on. I do have the chicken already prepped. Charlie has cut it for me. I am going to season that with salt and pepper. There is a little salt and pepper that goes in the mixture as well, but of course y'all know I'm going to season those up first also. So we're going to go ahead and just do 1 cup of the breadcrumbs. And let's see here, 1/4 cup is 28 grams. So we need, what is 28 times 4? So I need 112 grams. And that's just an easy way to measure without actually having to get out a measuring cup. And it's probably more accurate because you know you could put a little more or a little less. So we're going to do 112 grams. And I think having a kitchen scale is one of the most important things to have. It comes in so handy. There we go, 112 exactly. I doubt y'all can see that, but exactly 112 grams, which is quite a bit of breadcrumbs, I think. And so now we are just going to pull out all of our spices and go in with those. Okay, so we have our breadcrumbs. I got all of my seasonings out, and we are going to go ahead and get started. This is a 1/2 teaspoon, by the way, so most things I'm going to do 2 in. So we're going to do a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. And I did just salt and pepper the chicken breasts that were on the plate already, just with my other salt and pepper, just a light sprinkle on there. And then we're going to go in with a teaspoon of paprika, which I need to get some more of this because this is getting low. So we're going to do 2 of those. And then we're going to only do a 1/2 teaspoon of the cayenne pepper. It calls for like 3/8 teaspoon in the recipe, but we're just going to do about a heaping half. And then we'll do a teaspoon of chili powder. And then we're going to do a teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder. Okay, and then we are just going to mix this up, and then I'm going to put it in this shallow dish to do the breading. And I don't know if I said this earlier or not, but this comes out to 2 points per serving. Pretty much the breadcrumbs is the only thing that has any points. And that's what a full cup calculated out to be. And I am making 6 servings out of this. Okay, so that looks pretty well mixed up. And put it in here. Kind of spread it out. Put up my seasonings. So this will be my finished plate. And I'm just going to get them all ready, and then we will put the first batch in the air fryer. So I'm just going to dip it in the chicken. And then into the breadcrumbs. And onto the plate. Just like that. Did I say dip it into the chicken? I mean dip it into the eggs. Huh. I'm gonna dip the chicken into the eggs, then into the breadcrumbs.
I really wanted to get it right, trying to find some balance in my life, but I never really put up a fight, didn't follow my dreams, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. Slow it down, dreams still yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth the.
Okay, let me clean this up and then we'll get them in the air fryer. Okay, so we are ready to put our first batch in the air fryer, which you can see this is pretty small. I don't even know if I can fit 3 pieces in here, but we will see what we can do. These are pretty big pieces of chicken. I'm gonna try to do 3 at a time. Okay, so it looks like 3 is gonna be a perfect fit. You can't really see in there. Let me scoot you up. And then I am going to spray the tops of them with my olive oil spray, since I did not use the oil like the recipe called for. And it says to put them in for 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm going to put them on, this is already preheated some, for 12 minutes, and it says to try to flip them after about 7 minutes. So we will come back and check them and see how this first batch turns out. Okay, I'm ready to get started on the Brussels sprouts now. So I'm going to use this avocado oil spray. You can also use the olive oil spray if you don't have this, but I do feel like the avocado oil spray works really well with the Brussels sprouts. Again, I'm going to generously spray it, and then I'm going to generously season it too. So we're going to go in with some pepper and some salt and some garlic salt and some chili powder, some garlic powder, and some cumin. Then I'm gonna give this a good stir, and then I'm gonna do it all again.
You know that I'ma keep it cool. With you I feel like breaking rules. On the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming about us two, playing around without a clue. On the edge, leaning out. With us it's all or nothing. Ooh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during the night, but in the morning you just leave. With us it's all or nothing. Ooh, but guess I need more.
Okay, and then you just want to put them out on a baking sheet. And I try to spread them out as thinly as possible. Some people try to place them a certain way. I never really do that because I don't have time for that, to be honest. And they usually turn out pretty good anyway, in my opinion. And I am going to spray these one more time with the avocado spray, which I think I'm just about out of this. Just to kind of moisten them up a little bit more. And just a little extra garlic salt. And we are going into a 400-degree oven for 30 minutes. Okay, I'm finally ready to start on the rice. The chicken is coming along nicely. Charlie is kind of on chicken duty now, since we have to do it in so many batches. That way I don't really have to pay attention to it. But for the rice it says, which this is for 1 cup, which I'm going to do 2 cups, so I'm going to kind of double everything. And I did look to see what the ratio was to get 1 cup of cooked rice, and it said 1/3 dry rice is equivalent to 1 cup cooked rice. So I would need 2 cups of dry rice to get 6 cups of cooked rice, correct? So this recipe is going to come out to 7 points, because I am going to use 2 tablespoons of, I can't believe it's not butter, and then the rice itself is 6 points. So that's fine. The chicken is 2 points, and the rice is going to be 7 points, and the Brussels sprouts will be 0. So this will be a 9-point dinner, which I think is still pretty good. So we're going to go in. It says for 1 cup of chicken broth, which I need 2 cups. I only have 1 can of chicken broth. I need to stock up on that. So I'm gonna put this in and then just fill it up with water to make it to where there's 2 cups of liquid, which that's almost exactly 2 cups. I'll put just a little dab of water in there. And I guess it would help if I turned y'all down to where y'all could actually see, huh? So we'll put just a little bit of water. It says to bring this to a boil and then add everything else, which everything else is going to be the rice. So I'm going to get 2 cups of rice together. It calls for half a teaspoon of poultry seasoning, so I'm definitely going to do a full teaspoon of that. 1.5 teaspoons of butter. I'm just going to do 2 teaspoons, or no, what is this? I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of this because that's what I measured. It might lower the points by like a point or something if I just did 1 tablespoon. I don't really care. So I'm just going to do 2 tablespoons of this, and then it calls for half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. So I'm going to get my rice together. We'll come back when this boils. And just to show y'all, this is the rice that I'm going to use. It's just some jasmine rice that I put in this container, and I'll just pick up any brand like a Sam's Club or wherever whenever this gets low. But I love jasmine rice. The recipe actually calls for instant rice. I don't know if there's a difference or not. We're just going to use jasmine rice, and that's what I calculated my point zone. In my opinion, it's the best. Okay, so there we go. This is a 2-cup measuring cup, so I have my 2 cups of rice ready, and the chicken broth is still nowhere close to boiling, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay guys, so we are boiling now, so we are going to add in the remaining ingredients. So we have our 2 cups of rice, 2 tablespoons of butter, which is 14 grams. So I'm just going to put it on my scale and take it out until it's negative 28 grams. There's negative 26, negative 28. And then I need to get my poultry seasoning. This boiled a lot faster than I thought that it was going to. And we're going to do a teaspoon of that, which this is a half teaspoon, so I'm going to do 2 of these. It's going to do 2 heaping ones. You know, it's just going to give it some extra flavor. And then it calls for half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, so I'm just going to do a full teaspoon. So we'll do 2 of these. And then it says to bring it back to a boil, which it's still boiling actually. It just says to cover and remove from heat. I'm not going to do that since this is instant rice. I'm just going to let it simmer for a little bit. And then it says you can adjust the seasonings if you need to, which means you could add some more if you want to. So we'll see. I'm just going to cut it down and let her simmer for a little while. I almost feel like I need to add a little extra water in here. Okay, so I did go ahead and add in a little bit of extra water, maybe about another cup, because I felt like there wasn't enough liquid in there for the rice to really absorb it. And I didn't want to not have enough rice or it be kind of funky, since the recipe calls for instant rice and this is not instant rice, so that way it can simmer for a little while and puff up and absorb that liquid. So we will check on it in a few minutes. And here is an update on our chicken breast. They are cooking along quite nicely. Charlie is basically just cutting them in half, or one of them whenever he pulls out a batch. We're having to do it in several different little batches, but the second batch we did leave in for 13 minutes, just 1 extra minute just to make it a little extra crispy. But this is really good. It's really spicy. So if you don't like it too spicy, don't add too much cayenne pepper, and I only did a half of a teaspoon. Okay, so the only things that I have left to cook for the rest of the day is for the taco bowls, which is the ground turkey and the ground beef. And I'm going to go ahead and just drain and rinse my black beans and drain and rinse my whole kernel corn and just have them in bowls ready to go. As soon as the rice and stuff is done, then I'm going to cook both batches of the taco meat together, well, in separate skillets. Obviously, Charlie's is going to be ground beef, mine's going to be ground turkey, but I will just cook those. It will not take very long to get that cooked, and then I can do my bacon and eggs and my cookies. I can't forget my cookies. I have to have my cookies today, which I think the Brussels sprouts are almost through in the oven, so I might put the cookies together before I do the taco meat. We'll see. I'm going to check on my Brussels sprouts. Okay guys, here's the Brussels sprouts fresh out of the oven. Look at those. They smell divine. And you wouldn't think that from a Brussels sprout. And I don't actually like them plain. But when you put all these seasonings on them, delicious. Here they are. They're steaming hot. You can see them. They're a little too hot to taste test, but I'll try one little lick. So good. Okay guys, I am finally ready to start on the taco meat for our taco bowls. So for Charlie's, we have the 93.7 lean ground beef. And then I have the lean ground turkey breast for mine. And I'm just going to split this packet of hot and spicy taco seasoning between the two. And then I'm going to use some of this Badilla taco seasoning as well. And then, of course, salt and pepper in both of them. And then the magic thing that makes them so good is this Frontera taco seasoning skillet sauce. This is really good. It's delicious. I'll have to see how much this comes out in points, but it's not that much. I'll have to look at my recipe. I already have it in my app, so I will check that and let you know the points. But we're going to get started. I'm going to get the meats browned, and then we'll start adding everything in. Okay, so I think both of the meats are ready. I drained the grease, a little bit of the grease off of the ground beef for Charlie, and we're going to go in with half a packet of the Frontera sauce on each one. Now I'm going to do half a packet of this in each. And then just some of the Badilla regular taco seasoning. Okay, those are pretty much done. We'll be ready to start plating up. I think I'm going to plate up the chicken and rice and Brussels sprouts first, and then we will plate up the taco bowls. Then we'll make cookies. Okay, I am ready to plate up the chicken, and I'm going to just use two different colored containers. The pink will be mine and the green will be Charlie's, just in case I have extra rice or anything like I had the last time. I really don't think that I will. I think that this is going to come out perfect to 1 cup each. For the chicken, I'm just going to put like 1 large piece in each container and then kind of come back through and see how much more we need to add, because there were only 5 whole chicken breasts in here. So I'm just going to cut all these other ones in half, because 2 or 3 of them were already cut in half where Charlie was checking to make sure it was done. That gets the chicken divided. Now let's check on the rice. Okay, so I'm hoping that this works out to 1 cup per container. We shall see. I'm only going to do 1 cup in mine. Charlie will get the extra. That's why I just chose 2 color containers. So hopefully this will fit. I think it will fit perfect. I'll have to mash it down in there, of course. And this seasoned rice actually tastes really good. I did have to add some extra water in there since it wasn't instant rice. I could tell that it wasn't going to soften up good. So that made all the difference. And then I just kind of took it off the heat and have been letting it set so that the rice would soften. And I think it's good now. But it's nice and spicy. I think everything I made today has ended up spicy somehow, which is the way we like it.
Lights are shining bright. My friends are in the club. We'll go all night. I see you in the back. The mood is right. If I just had your number, I would let you know how I feel. You walk up to me, start dancing to the music, energies like this was meant to be. Take my...
So it looks like Charlie's just going to get a little dab of extra rice. There's not really that much left in here, so I'm going to see if I can't cram it in with his other without having to put it in with the chicken. Okay, that's good enough on the rice. Now let's do the Brussels sprouts. And I will just divide these as evenly as I can. They are 0 points.
I feel my heart beat and I don't want this moment to stop. Time to go home. Don't want this night to end. Yeah, about time we stop pretending. Come home with me. Let's write a history. Tonight I'll make you see. It's all about us. It's all about us. As we're dancing close together, making out. It's all about us.
Okay guys, here is the completed air fried chicken with the Brussels sprouts and the seasoned rice. This comes out to 9 points for mine, 2 points for the chicken, and then 7 points for the rice. Charlie does have some extra rice in his, as always. I'm sure he won't complain. So his are the 3 green containers, and then mine are the 3 pink containers. The Brussels sprouts, of course, are 0. But all of this actually tastes really delicious. So I'm excited to eat this meal. This is probably what we will have tonight, and I can't wait to eat it. So now let's plate up our taco bowls. Okay, we are ready to plate up our taco bowls. I'm going to go ahead and just do the corn and the beans, and then I will divide the ground beef and the ground turkey.
Every night I'm going on the grid, texting back, I want you, hit you up, I'm on the other side, I miss you, miss you. Take you off, I came in way too strong, cannot keep it low key. Got me drugged, your pheromones hit the...
And I'm just going to go ahead and plate mine up first. I'll push Charlie's back there, and we'll do these 3 for me.
Where you heading? Why ain't gravity pulling you in closer to me? I've lost you, but I need you.
And then here is Charlie's ground beef.
I've lost you, telling you that I need you, but you're off my radar now. Found myself in between the lines, underneath your bed sheets. It started fun, but now I'm in too deep into this flow.
Okay, here is the completed taco bowls. My 3 are the ones in the front with the ground turkey, and then Charlie's is the ones with the ground beef. Mine come out to 2 points for the taco meat, for the seasoning that's on there, the Frontera sauce and the taco seasoning. So this is a pretty low point meal. I will put this over a bed of lettuce, and then I will use some of the non-fat Greek yogurt in place of sour cream, which will also be 0. I'll put some Taco Bell hot sauce on there, which is 0. I'm gonna put some salsa on there, which is 0. And then I'll probably use a little bit of the guac, because I did pick up some of the little holy guacamole things at the grocery store. So I'll probably put about a point or 2 on there for that. And then I will have some of my Baked Tostitos with it. I'm trying to get those eaten up because y'all know they are out of date. So again, this can be a 2-point dinner if you wanted to just eat it over the lettuce and add the other 9-point items to it and leave the rest off. Or you can, you know, beef it up a little bit, eat some chips. You could put it in some wraps, whatever you want to do. I think Charlie puts his in like his mission wraps that he gets, and you know, then eats the rest with like chips or whatever. So you can just do a lot with it, but these are nice and handy. They just heat up in the microwave for a couple of minutes and they are good to go. Okay, these are the 3 chicken breasts that I put in the crock pot earlier this morning that I'm just going to shred up for my chicken salads. They've been cooking for about 6 hours now, and as you can see, they literally are just falling apart. I know some people like to get out their hand mixers to shred the chicken, but honestly, you just can't really get any easier than this. All my animals are coming around. They love the shredded chicken. It's like they knew as soon as they heard me get the forks, they kind of started freaking out a little bit. So I'm going to have to try to keep the cats off the counter because I have other food up here. I'll save them a little bite. But yeah, I just like to shred it up just like this. I'm just going to put it in this container, store it in the fridge, and then I will measure it out each night whenever I make my salad for the next day for work. And again, this is something that's great to have on hand. You can just put any kind of sauce on it, throw it with any kind of meal. If you want an easy meal prep, do use some crock pot chicken. You can also cook it on the stove, probably in like 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much chicken you put in there. But I did let my chicken boil over back in May, and it shorted out our stove. And then it took 3 or 4 months to get it fixed. So now I just put it in the crock pot. So if I want it, I know that it's not something that I can... Get down, Luna. Down. So I know if I want it, it's something that I need to plan in advance for, because I don't want to boil it over on my stove again. So there, that's it. That's all I do to it. It's done. I'm going to put it in here, and it will be ready for my salads. I save a little bit. I'll give the animals a little bite. Luna. She's at the end of the counter. You're pushing your luck, Luna. All right, I'm gonna get off here and feed them a little bit and do some cleanup, and then we're gonna make cookies. Hey guys, we are ready to make some cookies. So we are going in with 1 scoop of the PE Science Select Chocolate Cupcake Protein Powder. Let me turn you down here so you can actually see. And we're going in with 1 scoop of the Matrix Peanut Butter Cookie Protein Powder. We're going to do about 10 grams of the Hershey's Special Dark Cocoa. Then we're going to do 5 grams of the Jell-O Sugar-Free Chocolate Fudge Pudding Mix. And then we're going in with a tablespoon of the baking powder. And then we're just going to mix the dry ingredients until they are well combined. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now we're going to go in with the wet ingredients. So we're going to do half of the can of the 100% pure pumpkin, which there's 425 grams in here, so we're going to try to go for about 210, 212 grams or so. There we go, 212, perfect. And then I always start with about 100 grams of egg whites. I do kind of play this by ear to get it to the consistency that I want. I usually always add a little bit more than the 100, and there, that went up to 112, but it's fine. We're just going to mix this up. You don't want it too runny. You don't want it too dry. It's not going to be thick like a normal cookie dough mix. It's going to be kind of soft, which I can already tell this is going to be too dry just looking at it. So yeah, see, to me, that's way too dry. So we're going to go in with a little more egg whites. You just want it to kind of be a nice creamy consistency, not runny. So I think that's much better. So now we're going to go in with 14 grams of the Lily's dark chocolate baking chips, the no sugar added. And we'll just mix that up real quick and they will be ready to get on the baking sheet. I gotta grab my Baker's Choice spray and spray my pan. And we'll be ready. Okay, so I'm just gonna spray my pan. And we're going to scoop it into 12 cookies. And I am going to use my ice cream scoop.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind when we rewind.
Okay, those are ready. We're going in the oven for 9 minutes at 350 degrees at a max 10 minutes probably. Of course, all ovens vary, so you don't want them to be like runny on top, but you don't want them to come out hard either. So 350, 9 minutes. Okay guys, I have completed my meal prep for this Sunday. Very excited about all of these meals. I got a really late start. It's already after 6 o'clock, but I slept in till 9 o'clock this morning, so that was nice. So over here I do have my 7 prep fruit bowls with my yogurt like I usually do. Here we have the air fryer fried chicken, breaded in the panko breadcrumbs with the seasoned rice and Brussels sprouts. This comes out to, my containers are the pink ones because I just made sure I have 1 cup of the rice in there. But the chicken is 2 points and the rice is 7 points, so this will be a 9-point dinner for me. The blue ones are green, whatever color that is Charlie's. And he does have a little bit extra rice. Y'all know he always gets that little bit of extra. And then here are our taco bowls. The ones on the left here are Charlie's with the ground beef, and then mine are the ones on the right with the ground turkey, and these come out to 2 points each the way that I make my taco meat. The turkey is 0. It's just the seasonings and stuff in there that gives it the points. And then here is a batch of my chocolate peanut butter protein cookies that I love. These turned out perfect today. Super excited to eat those. I will store these in the refrigerator like this, obviously with a lid on it. I just don't have the lids on to show y'all everything. And then here is my shredded chicken that I'm going to use for my salads this week. Excited about that. I haven't eaten salads in a while. And of course I made my 5 batches of scrambled eggs for the week and my 10 slices of bacon also. So overall, super happy with this. Prepared for the week. I'm going to close out now. Well, the only other thing I am going to film is what it looks like once we put it in our refrigerator. So we're going to start putting the lids on everything and put it up. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the refrigerator before we put everything in and then after. So here is the refrigerator before. It's pretty empty, especially down here. Like I said, we will stack meals down here. I'll have fruit and stuff up here and meals. We'll stack stuff up here. I did not get my grapes out to show y'all that I had prepped those. Those will be for my salad. They're up here in this bowl. But, you know, to make more space, I'll probably set them on top of my peppers because I really won't need my peppers until later in the week. If you hear that clicking, Charlie's putting all the lids on. This is kind of like our last minute little thing. Say hi, Charlie. He said, what's up? So yeah, let us get it in here and then I will show you how cram packed in it is. Okay guys, here is the refrigerator. We got these in here real quick. So up here I have my eggs. And then I just always put my bacon, you can't even see it, it's too bright, in a Ziploc bag. That's why it's always just laying on a paper towel. Here I have my fruit kind of back in behind here. Here is my shredded chicken for my salads, my cookies. You can kind of see the fruit stacked back there. And then we have our taco bowls here. And then back in the back there is our chicken and rice. And then I have my yogurts down here ready to go. And that's it. Here is our green leaf lettuce all crammed in that tray there. Hopefully I can empty one of those out whenever I make my salad tonight. And then, so we do actually have, even with as many containers, a little bit of extra space because I will have to cram my lunchbox in here tonight. Charlie doesn't really put his full lunchbox together. He'll make his sandwich and stuff or cut it up, whatever he does. But yeah, that's it. That's the fridge. We do have an extra refrigerator out in the garage that holds a lot of extra drinks and stuff, and it's very satisfying come Friday night whenever we take those last containers out, or at least I think it is, don't you, Charlie?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So y'all got a one-word answer from him, as usual. Ha ha. He's tired. He's tired of me cooking. I'm tired too. I'm going to get off here. I'll talk to y'all later. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching today's meal prep video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you like the video, if you're going to try any of the recipes. I know that everything is delicious. We've had the taco bowl several times, and of course we taste tested the chicken and the rice and the Brussels sprouts and all of that as we are going along. It's always so satisfying to get all of that work done out of the way in one day, and then we're kind of set for the rest of the week. We don't have to cook anymore, so that's why I do it. It just makes our life easier in the afternoons or evenings once we get home. Also, if you are new here and this is the first time that you've clicked on one of my videos, please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and that notification bell so that you don't miss any time that I upload. I typically upload on Tuesday, Thursday, and on Sundays. And also follow me over on Instagram. I will leave my Instagram handle here for you also. And I do have a Facebook group set up just for people who don't have Instagram, or if you do and you just want to be in the Facebook group, you're welcome to. There is a link down in the description box below to that Facebook group. And also, a lot of people don't know about the description box, but there is a little arrow down below each person's video. And always check that description box. It has all kinds of information in it. I have the link to the Facebook group in there, to my Amazon store in there, to Weight Watchers if you want to sign up and use my code or whatever for Weight Watchers. I have my Fetch Rewards link in there. Just lots of valuable information, and also all of the recipes for today with the points will be down in the description box. So I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see y'all in the next video.